Something I forgot to say at the beginning of this video was that this is one of a couple videos that I'm going to do on my first kind of overall thoughts of the new livestream reveal. I did say later in the video that I'll be doing some, smaller videos on exact details, but I wanted to say that I will be doing specific videos for general thoughts on the whole livestream. So, anyways, enjoy. Yo, how's it going, guys? Littlemanstocks here, and in today's video, I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about Destiny 2 and the new livestream reveal that happened this morning. Now, if you didn't already know about this, Bungie had a livestream reveal for their third expansion to Destiny 2 this morning. This reveal consisted of many different things that I will be briefly covering in this video. So sit back, relax, and prepare for me to ramble. So, number 1, the new campaign and destination. The new destination will be in the Reef. Now, the Reef itself is not a new place, as we already know it was in Destiny 1. We've been there in Destiny 1, so it's not a complete mystery to us. However, we will be going to a new place in the Reef. So it sort of is a new destination, but it's still the same Reef that we know. Now, the destination in the Reef that we will be going to is called the Tangled Shore. Now, the Tangled Shore is essentially a bunch of meteors and rocks held together by a bunch of cords and wires. Now, it looks pretty cool. It's a cool concept. So basically, you're just standing on a bunch of rocks hooked together, and I'm assuming there's going to be maybe some jumping puzzles, or at least just a lot of airtime during those missions there. While you are there, you will be trying to round up some fallen criminals. Yes, it is the Fallen, and it is a species that we have already encountered before, but it is a new type of Fallen. These Fallen are outcasts, they're murderers, they are essentially just a bunch of very dangerous criminals. Now, these Fallen have been rounded up in the past by Cade 6. He put them in a prison there in the Reef, but unfortunately, there was a mass breakout and they all escaped. You, as the Guardian, have to round them up. In this case, I'm assuming you're actually going to have to just kill them instead. And you're going to have a bunch of unique and cool battles during the campaign. They even said that there will be like a sniper shootout with one dude. There will be kind of like a close-up battle with this one melee boss. And so a lot of cool stuff going on in the campaign that we know of. Another place that you will visit, maybe in the campaign, at least in some endgame activities, is called the Dreaming City. Now, the Dreaming City is an awoken city. This is cool, as the only awoken place that we have ever been to is the Reef and the base that the awoken have there. But we finally actually get to see an actual city itself that the awoken have. Now, it's kind of been taken over, and it's kind of an old city as far as I know, but still, it's really, really beautiful, and it's just really cool looking. It will tie into the raid, and I'll get into the raid in a little bit. And then you'll also, as I stated, have some endgame activities that they said will have endgame activities to do there. They didn't really specify as to what those are, but they just said that we would have some. Now, it could tie into the campaign. We could have some missions there, but I don't know that for sure. So until we find that out, all I can say is that it's a possibility. Now, as I stated, I'm going to go over the raid. Well, they had some really cool stuff to show us. Number 1, they said there would be more bosses in this raid than any other raid they've done before. Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. So, that means there's at least 5 different bosses in this raid. Not to mention the fact that they said there would be a lot and I mean a lot, of hidden puzzles and hidden things that there will be to do that will be kind of, they'll be part of the raid, but not necessarily essential to complete the raid. So there's gonna be the raid itself with, as stated, a bunch of bosses and a bunch of different things to do, but there will also be different secret things that you have to discover and different puzzles that you have to figure out in order to complete those extra activities, which I think is really cool, especially if they have a lot of it, which they did say, as far as I know, that they did. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, as long as I can get a fire team to do it with, because I have literally not done a raid once in Destiny 2 since the launch. Now, they also said that the things that Guardians do during the raid will affect the destination in the future. They said that on initial launch, the destination will not be the same as it will be 3 weeks after launch, which I think is pretty interesting, as they don't have anything, they've never done this before. It's the first time they've implemented something like this. And then they also, it's just really interesting to see what they do with that and see how, that actually they do affect the raid, how people do affect the raid and how it changes it. So lots of interesting stuff there. Now, moving on to the Crucible. They didn't talk a whole lot about the Crucible, no sandbox discussion or anything. They did talk about a specific new kind of PvP mode, but here's the catch. It's also a PvE mode. This event is called Gambit. Now, what Gambit is, as stated, is it is a PvP and PvE event. Now, how this works is, well, number one, it won't technically be a Crucible game mode. It will actually be its own thing to play. So, how it works? Well, you start off in the very beginning of the match, where you can see your opponents. Now, it will be 2 teams of 4 Guardians, similar to the current quick play. But, in this case, you will not be directly battling them. So, you start off, you get to taunt each other and whatnot, and then the actual match starts. Now, once you're in the match, you kill enemy ads, or just the PvE dudes. You kill them, and they drop motes. What you do with those motes is you put them in your bank. Now, putting them in your bank will release a blocker on the enemy team. What this does is it basically makes the enemy team have to kill that blocker before they can continue to put motes into their bank. Now, once you do kill the blocker, you can continue putting motes in your bank, but it just slows you way down. Now, the whole goal of this is to fill up your bank with motes so that you can basically release your final boss. If you defeat your final boss before the opposing team, you win. There's another catch, though. 1 player from each team is allowed to essentially flank the enemy team, and they're allowed to go through this portal and basically kind of screw the other team over if they're successful. They just shoot the other team kind of gets messed up by this, they have to respawn, and it kind of screws them up because you can also steal their motes, and that just sets them way back, and then you can deposit them in your bank, and that sets you way up. So, there's a lot of cool twists on this mode. I can maybe go into this a little bit deeper and explain it a little bit more in another video, but for now, that's kind of the general premise of Gambit. Now, there's some other things I do want to talk about, like as you've seen in the gameplay or the reveal, there's new supers. The supers look amazing. I'm going to talk about those separately in another video. There's, some other stuff that you've probably seen, like the bows. That's probably got you thinking, like, what the heck, bows in a shooter? Like, yeah, it's pretty weird. So, I'm going to talk about some untalked about things in this video, in other videos, if that makes sense. And, yeah. So, thank you for watching, guys. Hopefully this was helpful and entertaining. I'm so excited for this expansion. It looks very promising, and it looks like it's really going to set the game up for success in the future. And so with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you soon with another video. Peace.